Start. Right. Um, Under the Citizen Leader Track, are you required to live in ROTC housing all 4 years? Absolutely, you are, but it's not ROTC housing, it's core housing, right? So to be very clear, there's the core of cadets. All 3 ROTCs in the Citizen Leader Track are within the core. And then you have, then you break out and you're in ROTC for your classes and labs and your physical fitness training. Okay, can you switch between the 2 tracks, ROTC and Citizen Leader Track, up until the first day of your junior year? At the first day of your junior year in college, you must be in one of the 3 ROTCs in order to commission. So we do see a lot of students making decisions, but I'll tell you, being in the core where we have like we said, we mix everyone together. We want to build out that network that you're going to have to take with you after graduation. So we want you to know the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Citizen Leader Track. We want you to have all these people that you're meeting. So you're going to see it, and very, very quickly students make decisions. They very rarely take too long to really decide. You know, like we'll see a lot of changing in spring semester of freshman year, and then by the time we get to sophomores, it's onesie twosies changing around. So most students really make their decision early on because you're going to get to see it, and you'll see which one really is a good fit for you. Are there specific majors that the core requires you to choose from? So to be exact, the core does not, okay? You can major in any of the over 100 different majors here at Virginia Tech, and there's some really cool ones to choose from. If you are trying to be competitive for an ROTC scholarship, Air Force and Navy both prefer technical majors. They have either a Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 list, as is Navy, and Air Force has a technical list. So ask them when you get to their sessions. If I defer to spring semester, is there any conflict if you're coming in Cedars? Yes, you cannot join the Corps in any semester other than fall. So what would happen is you would come in, you would be a civilian at the university for spring semester. You would come and talk to me. I have a process for how we bring you in, is what we call an on-campus transfer. And then you would join us for fall semester, and that's when you would join the Corps. Can you share some details about out-of-state versus in-state population in the Corps? Certainly, we run a little bit higher out-of-state than the university. This last freshman class ran about 60-40, 60% in-state, 40% out-of-state. How many cadets enter with ROTC scholarships? It varies by service, it varies by year, it varies by how much money the federal government has. So that could be very variable, as I probably already said too many times, but you know, it really depends. I would say talk to the ROTCs about how many scholarships they had for freshmen this year. And then you can compete for depending on service, you can compete for 3.5, 3, 2.5, and 2-year scholarships. Well, that's the last ones offered, are those 2-year scholarships. You do not have to be on scholarship to be an ROTC, but you can come in and earn one later. When we apply for scholarships with the Air Force or any other ROTC, will the school choice have a decision on whether the person is awarded the scholarship? Air Force does everything nationally, Navy does everything nationally. Army does ask for the Professor of Military Sciences input. Not sure how weighted it is. So maybe, maybe not. Really talk to your ROTCs about that one. What scholarships are offered by the school, by the Corps of Cadets or the school? What are the qualifications? Well, the only one the Corps really has is the Emerging Leader Scholarship. The one time you can get it is as you're coming in. It is a 4-year scholarship as long as you're maintaining your grades, your physical fitness, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So that is our main scholarship, is the Emerging Leader Scholarship. However, there's several at the university. If you have some specific ones like that are tied to your major, you should check out you should go to your college's website. You should also check out Scholarship Central, and you should apply to scholarships before you've been admitted. That's very important. Most of these deadlines are in February. Some are earlier than that, so you should definitely be going in there. And if you haven't done the general scholarship, I always encourage cadets to do the general scholarship, because a lot of we were an all-military school until 1964, which means that those alums frequently want their money going to cadets. So you have to have applied to the general scholarship in order to be awarded that money, but they may be looking for cadets in a particular major or from a particular county. So make sure you apply to the general scholarship fund every year. It's not just a freshman thing. Can I do a club sport such as rowing? Yes, you can. Rowing actually works out pretty well with the Corps because of the timing of the practices. But you do need to, if you are going to be an ROTC, you must work that out with your ROTC if it's going to cause you to miss ROTC physical fitness. So Some services are a little more flexible than others, so you should check in with them on that. But we don't have a restriction except for club sports. If it's the highest level offered, you can do that from day one. If it's not the highest level offered, then you have to wait until spring semester of your freshman year in order to start. Okay. Do cadets have weekends off and holiday breaks? Yes. However, sometimes we have things going on. For example, we have the Caldwell March this weekend. It's a big day for the freshmen. This is really that first moment when they change from red phase to white phase in our training. It's a big step forward for them. So this was an exciting weekend, especially with COVID, for them to get outside and just be able to relax a little bit. So you do have, when we do have football going on where we can actually sit in the stands, we do attend all home football games. So fall can get kind of busy. September in particular, it's hard to find an open weekend where you have off, but your family can always come in. You get unlimited family pass, so your family can always come in, and you can go out with them once we're done doing whatever we're doing for the weekend. But there's typically at least one weekend a month that you can get home other than September. Are cadets able to get internships over the summer? Absolutely. If you are Citizen Leader Track, we're going to highly encourage you to do that. The ROTCs have equivalent internship-like programs that you can participate in, so you should definitely pursue those. Those are great opportunities for experience. Can you join the core ROTC other than the freshman year of college? Yes, you can, but you're going to miss out on a lot of what the core is bringing to the table. Remember, I talked about us being kind of that academic transition between high school and college. There's a lot of value in doing that, and being in the core freshman year is where that's going to happen. If you come in as a sophomore, you will have struggled through that on your own, and now you're kind of struggling to pick up your grades from there. Plus, you're going to be in sophomore classes while doing the freshman experience. So you can join. The core requires a minimum of 4 semesters in order to participate. So you have to join when you still have 4 semesters left. If you are looking at Air Force or Navy, you must have 6 semesters remaining. Army can do it in 4. They have a summer training you can go do. Again, bring that up with them. And again, they're outside. How does pre-med work with the core? No problem. Major in whatever you're going to major in. As far as the ROTCs, you should talk to each ROTC. They're going to have very different points of view on pre-med. Is there a buddy system for freshmen in the core? I know at Texas A&M, freshmen are paired with sophomores. We do have a mentor program where we will assign you a mentor. We take into account majors, we take into account grade point averages and performance to match that major to you, or that mentor to you. So we do have a mentor system here in the core. As science and biology major, how does ROTC accommodate off-campus, non-ROTC related research opportunities? Off-campus, if it's over the summer, probably not a problem. You'll have some training that you may have to do. There is one mandatory training for each ROTC. Air Force is between your sophomore and junior year. Navy and Army, it's between your junior and senior year. There's tons of other opportunities that you could take advantage of if you want to study abroad, if you want to do any of their trainings that they have that are absolutely amazing. Mountain Warfare School, Sapper School, you name it. You want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, you can go airborne, right? There's all kinds of summer trainings that the ROTCs offer. You want to fly a glider, right, at the Air Force Academy. There's all kinds of that kind of stuff. But if you're really committed to doing that every single summer, you would just have to make sure that you made room for that one summer's time frame. I will put my email in the chat. It's pretty easy. It's core, CORPS @vt.edu. It's also up on our website. So I'll have to do that here at the end. Is there any selection for the Corps of Cadets, or does everyone that wants to get into the Corps get admitted? You have to apply to Virginia. So if you check you want to be in the Corps, you will be in the Corps if you are admitted to Virginia Tech. But you still have to apply to Virginia Tech, and admissions has to admit you into your major. So it's very important. So 2 things I hope you heard there. One is major is extremely important of what major you choose to apply to. And 2, you do have to be admitted by admissions. Is there any, okay. I am currently in my junior year of high school in JROTC. What can I expect after completing Army ROTC in the Corps? And can I join the Corps band? You can absolutely join the Corps band. We have a band called the Heidi Tidies. We would love to have you in it. We offer an additional $1,000 stipend for all cadets who join the band their freshman year. So if you played an instrument, or parents, if your student plays an instrument that's band, and you listen to that and you would, you think they would love to continue to do that and live with people who love music, band is a great place to be. And we do offer an additional $1,000 stipend for everyone who joins the band. What can you expect after completing Army? I'm going to delay that. Go ahead and ask that for Army. They're going to go over all the different branches you can go into. Do we have an expeditionary rifle team? Our drill team. So if we are talking about our drill team is very competitive. They're referred to as the Gregory Guard. So check out YouTube. There's tons of videos on the Gregory Guard. They like to do a slow cadence, silent march. So they are very good at what they do. So check them out. Can you join after your freshman year? Yes, we talked about that, but I do think you miss out on what is important about the Corps, which is some of that transition between high school and college academically. But there's still more to be had from the Corps. There's leadership at all different levels. We're going to start off with peer leadership, learning how to be a platoon commander, then a company commander where you're leading 90 people, and then eventually you're going to learn how to lead other leaders. So there's a lot to the Corps. Please check those out. How many years for military service commitment after ROTC? 8. How vigorous is the PT? Depends on ROTC, depends on the day, depends on where we are in the semester, right? Right at the beginning, they're gonna get everybody up to speed, and then it'll pick up from there. So if you come in at the late end of the semester, they're usually got some pretty vigorous PT. If you were doing Marine option, you can expect it to be very vigorous. All right. I'm glad you guys were able to come. I know I went a little over. Hopefully, if you were still here, I appreciate you being here. Do want you to have an opportunity to get to the Army session if you're interested. If not, again, let me share the schedule. Sorry, there we go. Okay. So Navy will start at 2:30. Air Force will start at 3, and Citizen Leader Track will start at 3:30. Unfortunately, these are each individual links, but that's why this website's there. Let me go ahead and stick this in the chat box. So let me find the chat. Here we go. I'll pull this out. Okay. So there's the link to the schedule today and my email. My name again is Lieutenant Colonel Merriger, and I'm the recruiting officer here for the Corps. And this is my email and my phone number. Oops. All right. Well, I hope you had, I hope we answered a lot of your questions. I'm going to hang out for a little bit. If you do have more questions and you're not headed off to the Army session, I will be happy to stay here and answer some questions. I'm going to go ahead and answer some that are in the chat box for now. Can you get a rank from being in the Corps of Cadets? No. Also, do citizen leader tracks ever end up in the military after college? All the time. So you can choose to go to officer training school or officer candidate school. So there are other options of ways to commission. You can choose to go into the Guard or Reserves. Several of our students do that route. So there are other ways to go into the military other than ROTC. Do cadets live with other cadets of their same ROTC? Nope, we mix them all together. Do cadets have weekends off? Yes, and we kind of talked about that. Seniors, apart from scholarships and applications, what are the next major steps you would advise we take in order to prepare for the fall of New Cadet Week? Physical fitness standards, paperwork, documents. Okay, you're way ahead of the curve, so good on you for the initiative. Big scheme of things, what we're talking, we will have a whole bunch of paperwork. I will have a Canvas course site that I will usually turn on live in February. So once that comes live, there'll be tons of paperwork for you to do. The ROTCs have a ton of paperwork. I have 5, 6 forms that I need you to fill out. We'll be talking all summer about that. Should you be getting ready for physical fitness? Absolutely. Look up the physical fitness standards for your ROTC. If you're doing citizen leader track, look at the Navy standards. Also, Navy shifted to planks. So instead of sit-ups, they're doing planks. It's a little bit safer in the time of COVID. So check those out. Make sure you're doing those instead of sit-ups if you're doing Navy or citizen leader track. Do you have to do Corps of Cadets if you choose it on your application, or does choosing it just show your interest? It means you're going to be in the Corps if you're offered admission. So checking that box is a commitment to being in the Corps. And you do get to skip the pay page. You get that additional consideration. So if you change your status, you then owe the money and they take away the additional consideration. So be aware of that. All right, excellent. What is the difference between military track and citizenship track? It just means what are you, so probably what I need to do there, it seems like there's a lot of confusion on that. So let me share this. So this is a typical week in the life of a cadet. So here you can kind of see how these things blend together, right? Told you federal citizen or ROTCs are federal. Their primary mission is commissioned officers serve in the military, right? They happen to be housed in the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences here at Virginia Tech. Core, we're your day-to-day lifestyle, right? We're almost that, the university likes to think of us as a residence hall choice, but it's much more in-depth than that, right? It's a leadership program. So how did the two interact? Well, one, if you're in ROTC, you must be in the core, but you can be in the core without being ROTC. So if you're in ROTC, you're in the military track. If you're not, you're in the citizen leader track. So those are the two tracks. And if you have physical fitness training in the morning and you're Marine or Army, you'll have physical fitness training Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30, 6:30. If you're citizen leader track, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 5:30, 6:30. If you're Navy, Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30, 6:30. And if you're Air Force, they don't do 5:30, they do it at 8:30 twice a week. It's a great recruiting tool for Air Force, okay? So on the days you don't have PT, you're probably getting up around 6:20. That's about 10 minutes before everybody else gets back from PT, so you can run into the showers first, right? And then you're gonna get into uniform, and we'll have that morning formation. So we have a bugler, comes out, plays reveille, plays the national anthem. We're all standing at attention out there, the entire regiment, right? We raise the flag, pass the word. We're gonna have a quick uniform inspection and room inspection. Now those room inspections can be a little intense there at the beginning, right? Because your upper class, if anything doesn't meet the standard, they're gonna come point that out right there. At the 6-week point, we are kind of hoping by then you've learned how to clean your rooms. And at that point, you no longer have to stand by for your room inspection. You don't have to stand outside your room at attention with your buds, right? Your room will still get inspected. It'll just probably happen while you're away at class. And then we have about 10 hours. And like I said, that's your time to be a professional student. You need to be going to class. That's kind of a given around here, right? You need to be getting some extra study done. You need to be maybe doing laundry or going to eat lunch with your friends from high school that are here at Tech. Whatever it is, that's your time to manage. And like I said, the students who are most successful here are the ones who learn to manage that green time the absolute best. And then in the evenings on Monday nights, we're gonna have 2 nights you typically eat with your company. One is freshman eats, where the freshman class eats together, and then one is company eats, where the company eats together. Obviously, COVID has changed some of this stuff up, but hopefully we will be past COVID by next fall. And then in the evenings, we'll have Management 1945. That's your core part of your core lab, and that's where you're going to learn a lot of that time management. We're going to go through all the how to read a textbook better, how to reach out and do office hours with your professor, all these kinds of like tricks of the trade to really do well in college. And then that'll turn into study hours, and then that only takes about half the semester, and after that, that goes back to evening call to quarters, which are our study hours. And it's 4 hours for first year cadets, drops to 2 hours for sophomores. Juniors and seniors don't have mandatory study hours, but they can't be blasting like Call of Duty as loud as they can get it, okay? It's mandatory quiet hours, and it's maintained both by the upper class cadets as well as our senior enlisted advisors. Now, if you need to stay up past 11 because you've got something to do or you got everything done, you know you want to go to bed early, you can request early lights or late lights. But as a leader, you're going to be planning ahead for others. So we want you to get used to planning ahead for yourself. So you do have to request it at least 1 day in advance. But as long as you do that, it's always approved. And then Friday nights, we typically have Pride nights. This is where the companies get together and do something to build pride in the company. And then you have Pass. Pass means you can go anywhere you want within 50 miles of campus. However, during the first 6 weeks, we might give you Unity Pass. We say, all right, you and your 29 buds have Pass. You have to pick one thing and all go do it together. So it's a lot of fun watching the company kind of work this out as you try to figure, as you start to learn how to be on a team and agree on one thing, right? And then later you'll get Personal Pass, where you'll have a chance to go wherever you want to go within 50 miles of campus, and that'll expire at 11 o'clock. Saturdays are typically home football games when we are attending those, and in the spring that a lot of times will be ROTC training. Those nice weekends are hard to come by, so we've got to split them up between what ROTC training you need and what core, the core, which we attend all the home football games. And then Sunday is your day until 6 o'clock Sunday night, so a little bit earlier we start ECQ on Sunday, so you can sit down with that time planner, plan your week out, get those late night, early night requests done so that you're ready to go at 7 o'clock and do your study. So this is a typical week in the life of a cadet. Okay, let's see. Will scoliosis affect my chances? For ROTC, definitely. For the core, it does not matter. So you can be in the core and citizen leader track without any problems whatsoever. ROTCs, almost definitely you have to be what we call DOMR, Department of Defense Medical Exam Review Board qualified, and that will affect you. So you should definitely look at the DOMR website and see what their requirements are. Okay, let's see. I'm a junior in high school and I hope to earn my lieutenant rank in the Civil Air Patrol before graduating high school. How can that benefit me in the Corps? It's going to give you a lot of experience. Unfortunately, we're not going to recognize, we in the Corps are not going to recognize that. I do think Air Force has a way of recognizing Civil Air Patrol, but the Corps does not. It's just going to give you a leg up, and hopefully you're going to take that expertise and you're going to help your bud succeed, and that is going to help you. For seniors, apart from scholarships and applications, next major steps. Okay, we kind of talked about that. Where can we contact you? corps@vt.edu. I put that in the chat box, so you can check it there. How difficult it is for cadets to do double majors or minors. Well, our leadership minor is part of our program. So if you take the ROTC classes or the core classes, and all 4 years, plus 2 extra, I think you have to take 2 management classes and an ethics class. In addition, you can complete a minor in leadership. So a lot of cadets will pursue that minor in leadership. You can also pursue minors outside. You just have to really plan ahead. So that's why we sit down with cadets, and that's why the ROTCs are going to sit down with cadets. And one of your first tasks is going to be to sit down and plan out your 4-year plan, where you're going to sit down with your check sheet from your college and your major and any minors that you want, and you're going to plan all this out. So that you can see if it's going to fit or what you need to do to make it fit if you want to. So yes, you can definitely double major. We're going to support that by helping you plan ahead. And then it's just a matter of will it all fit depending on what you've chosen. I saw on the schedule where it mentioned 50 miles within campus. So if family lives in Hampton Roads, there's no way to get past. So there's no way to get past to go to Hampton Roads, but you can get leave. So every new cadet gets 2 leaves. Typically you need to take a leave on an open weekend, a weekend where we don't have something going on. And like I said, we typically have 1 open weekend a month, except for in September. So you could get home almost every month. You would just have to request leave. Know that the first time you put up a leave chit, it's probably going to get kicked back because you're going to have made some mistakes. Realize that may go back and forth 5-6 times, but eventually you're going to get that leave chit through. And next time it'll be a lot easier because you're going to know what you're doing. Right, but you can put in your leave chit and go home. So you could probably get home about once a month. And like I said, your families can come in, especially it's popular for families to come in for football weekends when we're not in the middle of COVID. Okay. If your degree ends up being a 5-year program, can I live in housing during the 5th year? Absolutely. We call it being a skipper cadet. So if you opt to be a skipper, you would be a 5th year cadet in the Corps, and you start to wear a gold band on your cover. So it's kind of a unique privilege for being a skipper, but it's not required. A lot of students will choose to graduate from the Corps at 4 years. They still haven't graduated from the university or ROTC, and they will be just in ROTC living, probably living off campus. So it's up to you. Okay. Does being a commanding officer for a JROTC unit help with application? Absolutely. Leadership always matters. Please tell us about that in those essays. I personally read admissions essays. Like we don't know who everyone is, but I can tell you that Eagle Scouts stand out because they talk about their Eagle projects. JROTC commanders stand out because in their leadership questions, they can talk about leadership. So it's that leadership experience that you're getting is definitely going to help you. And it will definitely help you for ROTC. ROTC is looking for scholars, athletes, leaders. So I think that's, that leadership piece is going to be very important. And those are the 3 categories that they're really evaluating you on. Okay. I don't see any more in the chat. Looks like we're done here. So if I missed your question, please ask now. Okay. Is there a separate essay to address our leadership experience in the Civil Air Patrol rather than focusing on those leadership skills in the Common App essay? So Virginia Tech has their own set of short answers questions. There's 4 of them. 1 of them is about leadership. I highly recommend you use it there. So that'll be a great place to do it. Great. Okay. Well, it looks like we are getting to the end. Thank you so much for coming today. Like I said, I hope that you choose to attend those other sessions. I did put the link in there. We would love to see you at the Air Force, Navy, or Citizen Leader track. Choose to attend all of them. I hope you at least choose to attend one of them. And if you have questions, feel free to email me. Like I said, it's core@bt.edu. We also offer info sessions on, let me do this real quick. If for those of you still here, let me, oops, here we go. I will share, I think, please come to one of our sessions where I've really updated what we're offering. So we have online sessions where we took the best of what we could from the Spend the Night program, since we have not been able to do Spend the Night because of COVID restrictions. We have a cadet panel, we have the core information session, we have breakout sessions with the different ROTCs, so you can definitely register for those. They're offered at 7 p.m. on Wednesday nights through November 18th. So feel free to grab, you just need one. So if there's one that works for you at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. If not, we also have all the sessions recorded here. And our lunch series I've just started. One is, especially if you're a parent and you have a lot of questions about how ROTC scholarships are supposed to work, or you're a first generation student and you're trying to figure this stuff out. That's what was my situation. Please come to that scholarship session. I talk about what a timeline should be for applying for an ROTC scholarship, how that should all work. I also talk about other scholarships that I know about here on campus. And like I said, I only had one person last week, so please attend. I tried to be very personalized in answering your questions regarding scholarships. And if you are a transfer student, I would love to talk to you there, because transfers is always a little bit different, and I can talk to you much more in depth about how that looks for a transfer student. So please think about attending one of those. And then you can find our ROTC points of contact here as well. So this is our website. I'll put it in the chat box too. And this is our visit site. So please feel free to check those out. Okay. Right, let me find the chat here. I don't know why the chat box is fighting me today. Here we go. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. And I hope you have a great Hokie day.